Hey everyone, this is Jake Crew and welcome back to Blind Faith. This week I'd like to talk about facing your fears with God. This week I'm kind of gonna get into like personal experiences and personal stuff because especially when I was younger, I was kind of a scaredy cat. I was kind of afraid of a lot, and as I've grown older, I've learned to face the fear with God, because there's two ways you can react to fear. One way, you can take it and shove it into the closet and hope you don't see it again, and close the door on it. And fear is kind of like a fungus. It's sitting in that closet. You can't see it right then, but it's growing, and all of a sudden you have a situation similar to that situation that you're afraid of, and you built up in your mind, so then it's much, much worse than what it could have been. The second response to being afraid is you can face it. And now, facing it alone doesn't go too well. I mean, when I was younger, I used to be scared of getting out of bed in the middle of the night because I thought there was going to be something waiting to grab me. Sometimes under my bed, sometimes in the closet, sometimes on the way to the bathroom, sometimes in the bathroom. And I used to face that fear alone. I used to sit in bed. I remember when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old, I used to lay in bed for an hour in the middle of the night trying to get the courage to go to the bathroom. Never once did I turn and ask God for help. Never once did I tell God, I'm struggling right now. I really need help. And all of a sudden I hit like 8, 9 years old, 10 years old, and I start asking God for help. I started, when I would wake up in the middle of the night and think something was there, I'd go, God, please protect me. And then I would say the Our Father and stuff. I'd get out of bed right away, walk to the bathroom, go to the bathroom, and walk back to my bed. The whole time I'd be saying the Our Father or asking God to protect me. Now, even though I'm not scared of the monsters in the closet and under the bed, it's a familiar habit. Then when I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm constantly just asking God for help just because that's what I did 10 years ago, and I kind of built in my routine. So the middle of the night is kind of my time to talk to God. No, that's one of the times I pause and talk to God. In the middle of the night, it's no longer scary to me because God's there. Jesus is there with me. It's kind of like that dream. I had that dream, talked about in the previous video, that the devil was in my room torturing me. Awful dream. The next time when I felt like it was going to happen, I asked Jesus for help, and there's a bright light in the room, and all I could see the rest of the night was Jesus staying over me in my sleep. That's just a couple examples of bring God into your fear with you, because sometimes you realize that monster under the bed isn't real. That monster in the closet isn't real. The only one that's real is God, and God is always on your side. God is with you, so there's no reason to be afraid of that. Another way that God has helped me with my fear personally is when I was younger, I used to be scared of the dark, and when I was scared of the dark, it sounds kind of funny because I can't see, so it sounded pretty humorous, but I could see light and dark, and I was terrified of losing the rest of my sight. I thought it was terrifying. I loved the light. I loved being able to see the sunlight. I can still see sunlight today, but my vision has faded, as it has and will continue to. And now I don't see room lights on very much anymore. For these videos, I've got to remember to turn the light on because I can't tell if it's on or off. And I've got to check the switch and be like, okay, it's on, or okay, it's off, and flip on and off like that. But when I was younger, I was just terrified of the dark, and all of a sudden I start just getting used to the idea that I would eventually only see dark. And although you might think this would be a true statement, God has helped me out with this one again, because I thought I would only see dark. I see whatever I want to see. If I'm wanting to see light on, the lights will be on. I can close my eyes and see light. if I'm trying to fall asleep, I can flip the lights off, basically in my head, and it goes dark. And I think this is kind of like a gift from God, that God knew I was scared of the dark. God knew I was afraid, and God gave me a gift. He's like, there's no need to be afraid of the dark. There's no need. But if you insist on being afraid of the dark, because that was when I was young, and I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm fine staying in the dark. But now at this point, now I have that light bulb basically in my head that God kind of gave me, that I can imagine the lights on and they're on, and imagine them off and they're off. The only light I can truly see now is the sunlight, which is another gift from God, because my favorite thing to see was the sun. So now that I'm seeing sunlight, God's still allowing me to enjoy day after day my favorite thing. And I count each day as a gift from God. Every day I wake up and look outside and I'm able to still see the sun. But so this is another way God's helped me through my fears. And then some fears are more real than your childhood fears. The monster in the closet, never real. The monster under the bed, never real. The something bad would happen in the dark, not real. Because saying bad things can happen in the light just as they can happen in the dark. It doesn't matter if it's light or dark. They can happen. So let's focus on a more real fear that I have today. And I still struggle with it. I still struggle to get over it. I've got my guide dog Raven, and I count her as a gift from God. But every day, I'm worried that something's gonna happen to her. Same with my cat. Same with my pet dog that we had to put down a couple years ago. I was more afraid. I'll use my pet dog as an example. We had to put her down. Put her down 2 years ago. It's still a very, very hard day. But so my pet dog's name was Smidge, and she lived to be 16. She had a great life with us. She was a great dog. But I was terrified that something would happen to Smidge. I heard a car go past on the road. I thought it honked, and I would think she got hit on the road. Usually it was just a friend driving past and honking to say hi. It was never Smidge actually on the road. Every morning I woke up, I'd be nervous that she passed away, especially as she got older. I'd be terrified to be the first one awake, because I didn't want to be the one to find her. I didn't want to be the one to get the news. I did not want to get the news. I wanted to hide as long as I could from it. And when it finally did happen, I was actually out of state at that time. My family called me, and I was upset, of course. No happiness. I found that's one of those situations. I was talking about finding happiness in every situation. That was one of those situations I was not able to find happiness in. But I almost felt relieved too when she was put down, because, well, for one, I knew she was no longer suffering, and for two, I didn't have to worry about her getting in a serious accident on the road, getting hit on the road, breaking a leg, breaking 2 legs, and being in serious pain. I was terrified of that. I also didn't have to worry anymore about her just having a bad death. My family told me it was very peaceful. She went quickly. And I look at all those fears, and realistic, yes, they're the same fears a parent. Not the same fears a parent feels for a child. A parent's even more afraid about something happening to their child than I was about my dog. But it was very real fear. I was terrified to get up in the morning and check on her and stuff. If she had really bad lungs, and if she started coughing, I was scared to come home from school every day in case something happened to her. And so when something did actually happen to her, it was almost a relief, because I wasn't waiting for something to happen to her anymore. And I think we've got to turn this around and look at it and realize we don't have control over everything in our life. I think part of my fear comes from is things I don't have control over. I like feeling like I know what's going to happen to me and to my pets and stuff. I like having that control. Like right now, I know that Raven's in my bed. I like knowing where she's at all times because I worry about her. And I think we've got to realize that sometimes we've got to set aside that fear aside and just go, okay, God is protecting my family. God is protecting my animals. When He calls them home, it's the right time. It's time for them to go home. There's nothing we can do to prevent it. And I almost have to face that fear head on and go, God, I know it's in your hands. I trust you. And just put my trust in God. That fear is still there, but it's definitely helped when I put my trust in God and pray to God and go, God, please keep them safe. Because I know I've left them more capable hands than my own. Because I can only do so much. God has endless power. Even if they die on earth, God brings them to heaven. God's got endless power. He's got the control of getting them to heaven, and you've got to just trust Him, trust in Jesus, trust in God, trust in them, that your loved ones will make it to heaven. And then there's other types of fear too, just fear of situations. I mean, I'm afraid of taking tests every time, and sometimes the only way to get rid of fear is to face it head on. Take test after test, which, I mean, I'm kind of forced into that with school anyway. But when I was younger, I used to try shying away from my fear. Like, if I was afraid of something, like afraid to go somewhere, I would try to find a way to back out of it quick. When I was younger, I was a little bit scared of the dentist. I didn't like the dentist playing around my mouth and stuff. And I've gotten over that. I don't enjoy the dentist, but I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. And it's made I'm able to lay stiller now. I'm able to relax more. Maybe I'll actually visit with the dentist a little bit. Enjoy their company a little bit, because my dentist was really nice. I mean, that's the thing, is that sometimes fear covers up something that's more real in life that you're missing out on. And I think it's important to realize that sometimes fear, the only thing to fear, or the only thing I feel like people fear, is fear itself, because I'm afraid, and then I'm afraid of being afraid, and then it makes me a lot more afraid, and it's just a big circle. And I think we're also all afraid of being hurt, because we don't like being hurt. But in loving, sometimes the heart has to be put on the line, sometimes the soul has to be put on the line. And God wants us to love everyone. So God wants us to love one another. So that basically means that our heart is put on the line for everybody. And it's opening ourselves up to hurt. But at the same time, without hurt and sadness, there'd be no love and joy. Because without hurt, there's no love. And without sadness, you don't know what joy is, really. So I think these negative emotions, although we see them as negative right now, and they definitely are negative, I think they also are highly important as well. And I think it's important to face that, because even before every wrestling meet, before every wrestling match, I was nervous. I was kind of like past nervous. I was like getting like scared, like I was building this wrestler up in my mind. So, oh my gosh, they're gonna just destroy me and stuff. And I would go out there, and I never once felt like my fear, my nervousness was truly like deserved. Like, I never once thought it was actually, I should have actually been that nervous. But before every single one, I was, until I started asking God for help. Before every match, I started asking God for help. And I'd tell him, I know that maybe the other person asked for help too. Maybe I'm not meant to win this match, because sometimes there's another lesson in losing. I definitely learned many lessons in losing matches. I gained a lot of respect for a lot of people that beat me, and a lot of respect for a lot of people I beat in wrestling, because each person you can learn different lessons from. But I think it's important to take these lessons as gifts from God, and also learn not to be nervous as much, not to be afraid as much, because I feel like fear can freeze all of us up so easily. And if you just take this second and ask God for help, it'll go a lot better. This is Jake Crew, Blind Faith. Thanks for watching. See you all next week. Remember, God will help you through fear. Bring God into your fears. Thank you for watching.